Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Syazwani Abd Rahim from University Teknologi Johor, and today I'm happy to present in this conference, 13th Global Conference on Business and Social Science GCBSS 2022. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, our topic is a permanent and transitory components of volatility following the 2008 financial crisis, investigation on Dow Jones Sukuk Index. So I am the presenter, Syazwani Abd Rahim, and this is the co-authors, Associate Professor Dr. Nusila Ahmad from UC. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, so this is my outline of presentation. I will start my presentation with the operational definition, issue and motivation of the study, and then literature review, methodology, results and discussion, and then conclusion. Alright. Okay, so these are the operational definition that I will explain before I start detail about my presentation. So Sukuk, what is Sukuk? Sukuk is an Islamic bonds or certificate of investment. And then volatility or volatile. So this is uncertainty measured as standard deviation by the coefficient alpha and beta estimated by Gush model. What is Gush model? So Gush model is generalized autoregressive conditional heteroscedasticity. And alpha and beta, alpha mentioned Ash term and beta refer to the Gush term. And I use Sukuk index in this research is Dow Jones Sukuk Index or DJSI, and the method is C-Gush component generalized autoregressive conditional heteroscedasticity. So these are the operational definition in this study. So ladies and gentlemen, now I will explain about the issue in this study. So start with 2008 global financial crisis, GFC, and then after crisis, Sukuk return decreased and more than 33% decreased during the crisis. Okay, about USD 46.65 billion in 2007 to only USD 15.8 billion in 2008. So this is around 33% decrease in Sukuk return. And then is report that during the period 2001 until 2014, there were 44 cases of Sukuk defaults, and the defaulted amount is USD 4.2 billion, is a big amount, and the rate of default in 2014 is around 0.7%. And because of this crisis, Sukuk investors' confidence decreased. So this issue react to the complicated situation among Sukuk players. So this high market volatility during a global financial crisis mentioned that Sukuk as a risky investment. So this is, we can see the graph of Dow Jones Sukuk Index. Okay, so this is during 2008 a global financial crisis. Okay, affect the global Sukuk market, which is the higher the volatility, the higher the risk, and decrease the return. So this is the issue of the study. Okay, so this is about the research objective and research question. So after 2008 global financial crisis and high risk, high volatility, and then effect to decrease Sukuk return. So the research objective in this study is to examine the permanent and transitory volatility component of Dow Jones Sukuk Index. And the research question is permanent component more persistent than transitory component following the 2008 global financial crisis? So the permanent component volatility is the long run component, and the transitory component is the short run components of volatility. So this is the research objective and research question in this study. So ladies and gentlemen, what is Sukuk? So these are the definitions of Sukuk by the Securities Commission Malaysia, IOFI, Accounting and Auditing Organization for Islamic Financial Institution, and also the definition from Islamic Financial Services Board, IFSB. So the first definition mentioned by Security Commission Malaysia mentioned Sukuk as certificates of equal value which evidence exclusive ownership or investment in the property using Sharia principles and concept approved by Sharia advisory council. Okay, the second definition by IOFI mentions Sukuk as a certificate of equal value representing undivided interest in the ownership of the underlying asset applicable to both tangible and also intangible asset, usufruct, services or investment, particularly ventures or some special investment. And the third definition by Islamic Financial Services Board mentions Sukuk refers to a certificate that represents the holder's proportionate ownership in an entire part of an underlying asset where the owner assumes all rights and obligations to such asset. So these are the definitions of Sukuk. Okay. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, now we move to the literature review in this study. Okay, we can see here from this literature mentioned that Sukuk market has recovered after the 2008 global financial crisis, which is a risky investment during that situation. Okay, we can see here Security Commission Malaysia 2019 mentioned doing Sukuk could result in bringing in more investors from Western countries with sustainable investment mandate into Sukuk market. And also IIFM Sukuk Report 2020 mentioned that Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Pakistan, Bahrain and Turkey are expected to increase the share of domestic Sukuk to meet their fiscal deficit financing and infrastructure development requirement. And also Sukuk Bulletin 2021 mentioned that GCC government collectively issued USD 6.5 billion in Sukuk in first quarter of 2021 compared to USD 10.2 billion during the first quarter of 2020. Okay, so this table mentioned that the summarization of the few authors that focus their research in the two-component volatility specification of perform one-factor models for market return volatility. So these authors also mention about C-cash component volatility and so on. Okay, so this is the literature that focus by example of a few authors that mention about the component volatility. Okay, for example, this author Nevas and Park 2017 mentioned that the asymmetric volatility and the asymmetric spillover from the US market exists across three market groups, and their results also using a C-cash model indicate that the long-term persistence of volatility in all advanced emerging and frontier markets. So this is from the Nevas and Parks. And then this study also used the C-cash model, and they examine their effects in modeling and forecasting the conditional volatility of the stock market from the region of Latin America. And then the study also used the C-cash model and considering six different distribution functions, construct the permanent and transitory volatility also using the C-cash model. And then this Ibrahim and Ahmed 2014 also used the C-cash model and then decomposes conditional oil volatility using permanent and transitory oil volatility. And then this Nimi et al. 2021 also used the C-cash model to the cryptocurrencies and also fiat currencies. Okay, so this is the example of a few authors that use the C-cash model to research in the component volatility. So ladies and gentlemen, now we move to data collection and methodology of the study. So we use Dow Jones Sukuk Index. Okay, so this is the period of the study starting from 2006 until 2015, which are cover the period before the crisis, pre-crisis, during the crisis, 2008, 2007, and then after the crisis, post-crisis until 2015. So this is the launch date, April 2006, and this is the number of data. So the sources is from Bloomberg database, and this is the method for C-cash. Okay, so H is the conditional variance that consists the volatility factor of the long run and also the short run, and the Q is the volatility factor of the long run, and S is the volatility factor for the short run. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now I will present the results and discussion for the C-cash that include the threshold. So these are the comparison between the graph conditional standard deviation and also the conditional variance for the C-cash for this Dow Jones Sukuk Index. And we can see in this table the results for the CCASH 11 models includes threshold for Dow Jones Sukuk Index. Okay, the value of a row is 0.5826. Okay, positive and significance but not very close to once mentioned that no existence of long memory volatility. And then the results of alpha and beta, which is the ASH term for alpha and GASH term for beta, positive and also significance. And the value of alpha and beta is positive 0.3481 but not very close to once mentioned that low volatility persistent, and also the results of alpha plus beta is less than rho and positive, so mention that the permanent or the long run component is more persistent compared to the short run component. Okay, so now we move to the results and discussion that without threshold. So this is the graph for CCASH 11 model without a threshold of Dow Jones Sukuk Index. So this is for the conditional standard deviation, and also this is for the conditional variance. Okay, so this is the table that CCASH 11 model without including the threshold term for Dow Jones Sukuk Index. Also, we can see here the row is 0.6174 positive and significance, and also alpha and beta also positive and significance, and then the number of alpha plus beta is 0.1847, which is less than number of a row, but this is not very close to 1 to mention that this is low volatility persistent, and also the number of a row also mentioned that this is no existence of long memory volatility, and also the number of alpha plus beta is less than a row, and also significance mentioned that the permanent component or the long run component is more persistent compared to the short run component or the transitory component. Okay, so this is the results for the CCASH model without threshold. So ladies and gentlemen, now we move to the conclusion of the study. So this is the analysis. Okay, the first one is volatility is persistent if alpha plus beta is less than 1 and very close to 1. So there is the existence of long memory volatility if the 0.9 less than a row and less than 1 and very close to 1. And then also the third one is long run component is more persistent than the short run component if alpha plus beta is less than rho and less than 1. So this is the analysis. So in conclusion, Dow Jones Sukuk Index show a significant value of alpha and beta is mentioned that means the news from the volatility from the past period may affect the current volatility, and also the summation of the estimated ASH and GASH coefficient alpha and beta is not close to 1, suggesting low volatility persistent, and also Dow Jones Sukuk Index with positive values of alpha and beta and less than the value of a row support that the permanent component show more persistent than the transitory component. So from this conclusion, the results mention that the permanent and transitory volatility component might influence the risk of the 2008 global financial crisis, and therefore the results of the study will guide the policymaker in optimizing the financial deepening that needs to be undertaken to ensure that the maximum possible gain for the economy. So that's all. I end my presentation. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present in this GCBSS 2022 conference. Thank you.